Alright, in this video, I'm going to show you how to create somewhat of a complex tunnel animation inside of YanoBox Nodes 3 using Apple Motion. I already have Nodes 3 loaded up and I don't need to see the project pane, the timeline, or the keyframe editor. I'm going to do Shift-Z to fit the canvas to the window. And over in the inspector for Nodes 3, a basic tunnel or a tunnel-like effect is actually pretty quick, but I'm going to do a complex one. But before I do that, let me show you a very basic one. For this default form circle, if we set this to a regular polygon, and let's suppose we want to have a hexagon here, come on down to the node's color, maybe adjust its color. I'll do complementary. I'll select a red. Now we have some red and blue nodes. Bump that radius on up. And a quick way to get a tunnel here underneath the effects tab, let's replicate this form. And instead of us replicating it on the X, I'm going to set the X count to 1. Let's set the rep count Z on up. And if we set this really high, you can see that we get this tunnel-like effect. But we're somewhat limited on some of the things that we can do with this. So I'm going to take a different approach. And to do that, I'm going to reset the entire Nodes 3 generator. We're back to the circle. And for this form now, let's use a grid instead. I'm going to take my nodes count X, bump it up to 20 on this grid. I'll keep the Y at 10 for right now. I'm going to come on down to the effects again, and we do want to replicate this grid. But when we select replicate, we are replicating a grid into another grid, and we don't want that. We actually want to create our hexagon, or how many ever sides you want to your regular polygon using the replicator. So selecting regular polygons for replicate, let's bump the rep sides up to 6 for a regular hexagon. This may actually be kind of hard to see. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to bump my nodes count X back down to 10 just so you can see. And then I'm also going to take the node size X. I'm just going to squish these a little bit closer together. And I simply want you to see that we do have this grid here, this 10 by 10 grid. Let me adjust my Y spacing as well. And by me doing this, I just want you to see that we do have 6 of these grids getting replicated. Our grid is a 10 by 10. We have some size X and size Y, and I only did this so that you can see all 6 of them. But now we want to create our tunnel. And what I want is I want all 6 of these to be the 6 walls of our tunnel. Let's go back down to the effects. And for the rep rotation, here's one variation. I'm going to show you 2 variations that can give some different effects. For rep rotation X, let's do 90 degrees. We're almost there. Let's go to the rep orientation and let's tell these walls to look at the center. So now we have our walls here. Now we can connect them in various ways. We can reduce the rep radius, or we can come back up here to the form itself and we can adjust the count for X and Y as well as the size of X and Y. Now let's see what nodes count X does. If I make the nodes count X larger, we are making our walls taller, longer, whatever you want to call it. The nodes count Y is what's going to give that 3-dimensional tunnel effect. And we can make this really high. I'm going to bump this on up to 100. Now, several ways to close in our walls here. We can bump that nodes count X on up, but this almost gives like a circular effect that blends into a hexagon. Now, something else to point out here too, the nodes count Y is 100. But if we were to actually count these, there's not going to be 100 here because some of them are behind the camera. And to show you that, if I go into the camera settings and I take the Z position and slide on out, we can see more nodes appearing. And if I go out far enough, we will get outside of the tunnel like we have right there. So I'm just going to come in a little bit so that I'm inside the tunnel. Now to me, this looks a little bit crowded. So I'm going to reduce the nodes count X. I'm going to make those walls shorter, what appears to be shorter at least. I'm going to set that down to 10. And instead I'm going to put the gap of those X's. We just adjusted the X. If we make this gap bigger, I'm just going to set it up to 30 right now. Now I'm just going to increment by 1. So 31, and then incrementing this up, we can close in those walls yet again. And now this doesn't look as crowded, at least on the X. But now let's do something very similar for our nodes count Y. I'll leave this at 100, but let's put a bigger gap for our size Y. Let's try 50. And if I slide this on up, you can see as I slide this, we can see that hexagon tunnel getting formed now. Whereas if I have them closer together, it almost looks like it's a circular tunnel that transitions into a hexagon. That would be pretty cool to keyframe, right? But if we make that gap bigger, we can see the hexagon pretty much goes all the way down. I'm going to set that size to something arbitrary. Let's try 300. I'm going to take my size X and bump it up a little bit more to kind of close this in. If you look at each corner of our wall, we can make these nodes overlap. If you want that, that's fine. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to set that size X back down to, let's say, 50. Maybe I'll just add an additional node here or there. And all I'm doing here is adjusting those sizes to where we have what appears to be pretty equally spaced walls. That's good enough. Now there's tons of color modes for nodes color. Right now we have a single white. If I go to complementary, it will essentially pick 2 colors as long as you don't have black or white selected. If I pick triad, it'll give us 3 colors, in this case red, green, and blue. Random hue, what does this do? Well, if we come over to our sliders, random hue pretty much gives us any of these colors inside of here. Now you may say that color is not changing, but as I come in here and change this, you may say, yes, it is changing the colors, but essentially it's kind of doing the same thing. It's just giving us random hues out of this. Now if I had this green selected and I come and select random saturation, it's going to give us various shades of green, if you will. We're on this greenish color and we have various shades of green, saturations of green. For now, I'm going to come back to complementary and coming into this color here, let's just set it to maybe a blue. So we have a blue and a green. Let's check out some connections. Coming up to lines. What this is doing is it's connecting every node in sequence in each form. Notice we have a form here, a form here. All of these walls are the forms that are getting replicated. Now, a way to adjust the types of connections we have, if we come down to connections, by default it's set to serial and 1 for the loop steps. And what this means, the default value of 1, every point will be connected to the next point. So check it out. We got this point connected to here, connected to here, connected to here, and then it will connect to the next point in that form. Let's change this serial to 2. Or if we set this to 3 or 4 or 5, notice it is changing the type of connection we have. If I come back to 4, if we look here, 1, 2, 3, 4. For every 4 nodes, we're connecting 2. That's how I understand this loop step. Notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We are connecting just 2 nodes. If I set this to, let's say, 6, notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of these 6 nodes, only 2 of them are getting connected. But maybe instead of us connecting like this, in this manner, where we're on like one layer, we have this layer, then we have this layer and this layer, maybe I want to connect the nodes in 2 different layers. Well, what we can do, we have to come back and switch a few things around. So notice our nodes count X is 12 and our nodes count Y is 100. I'm going to swap these. I'm going to put the 100 here, the 12 here. Some crazy stuff going on. For the node size X, we have 48, and the node size Y, we have 300. So I'm going to swap these. 48 here, and 300 here. Now bear in mind, if we slide these things around, we can get some really crazy stuff going on. Kaleidoscope kind of stuff, right? Undoing that. Now you might say, well, what in the world has happened to our tunnel? Let's come on down to the effects again. We'll keep the rep rotation X for 90, but let's rotate this Z, and I'm going to go in the negative direction. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to negative 90. Now we have the exact same size tunnel, but we've swapped everything around, and then we applied this simple rep rotation, and now we have our connections going amongst these layers like I mentioned a moment ago. So for this complementary color, we're connecting the 2 colors, and I'm thinking of these as layers, where we have a layer of yellow, layer of blue, layer of yellow, layer of blue. But again, bear in mind, by us simply swapping the X count, Y count, and the X size and Y size, we have a different connection type. But we also have a different arrangement of colors too, don't we? It's not going blue, yellow, or is this a green? I can't even really tell. But now I'm going to come back into this serial for the loop steps, and I'm going to slide that on down so that we can get more of these connections going on. That looks pretty good. This actually looks very similar to one of the included presets with Nodes 3. I think that one was a pentagon though. Let's mess around with some sizes of these nodes now. So node size, by default, everything is 10, that's uniform. If we do modulate, it will be one of two sizes. In this case, either 10 or 20. Right now, the yellow ones appear to be 10 and the blue ones appear to be 20 because the yellows are smaller than the blue. The size modulo can essentially randomize how these things are changing sizes. So keyframing this, very cool. I'm just going to set that to a random number, maybe 50. But then if we go 51 or 52, notice we're starting to get different effects as we go into our tunnel. Not only that, we can adjust this size phase, and that's going to blink on and off these nodes, so to speak, but it's actually just changing the size of them. But with the default for modulate at 10 and 20, the size modulo at 2, we can animate this size phase, and we can get that flashing where each layer is going to alternate its size, so to speak. So notice right now the blue here is 20 and the yellows are 10. If I bump this up another degree right here eventually, notice they swap. So now the blue is 10 and the yellow is 20. Let's animate that. And a quick way to do that, underneath the animation menu directly in nodes, destination 1, node size phase. Let's just bump the speed on up and let's give it a play. So now we can see the size phase is getting animated, and I have this speed, and you can make it faster or slower as you can see right there. Okay, my eyes are pretty much convincing me that this is a yellow color, so I'm just going to come down to my lines, this little tab right here, and I'm going to set that color to a red, just so we can see the differences here. So we have a red, a blue, and a yellow. Maybe make it a little bit thicker. So we have what appears to be almost a blinking effect, but that's really just the size change. Let's actually come in here and rotate the tunnel, and let's dive into this tunnel. Now you may think we would use the camera for this, and you definitely can, but I don't think there's any animation destinations for the camera up here. So another way that we can do this is we can use the transform menu. The rotation Z will make it appear that the tunnel is rotating. That's exactly what we want. Not only that, the position Z will allow us to dive in and out of the tunnel. And these two things we can animate from the destinations in our animation menu. So let's do the rotation, and that is going to be transform rotation Z. I'm going to set its speed on up. Let's give that a play. So now we should see rotation as well as that size change. And now if we come and do the position Z, and just make sure it's transform position Z. Now these speeds can be positive or negative. I'm going to try the positive first, and we should be diving in, and now we have the rotation, what appears to be diving into the tunnel, all of this going on at one time. And now for one more quick adjustment here to add some depth to this tunnel. Let's go down to the rendering tab, and let's go to the depth effect. I'm going to set this to opacity. And by default, this is the effect that we get. Now, if I play this, you're going to notice that this opacity actually starts to get closer and closer and closer to the camera. And let me fast forward a little bit. Once it starts back over and loops, now it's bright again. So one thing I want to change here, the depth space, I want to set it to world. That's going to always keep that depth change in the same spot. And that's what I want here in this case. And just notice here, if I scrub this, we don't see the closer ones getting any less opaque, more opaque, or whatever. It's staying right there in the same spot. Now, something else I want to do here is maybe adjust the influence where it's not quite as much. That way we see more of a gradual change. Maybe I don't want it to start so close to the camera, but instead farther away from the camera. And then adjusting this depth range will add some effect too. But this is more of a gradual change to it, not ultimately fading out, but still we can see the front is brighter, and farther down into the tunnel, it is a bit darker. And there you have it, a hexagon tunnel inside of Nodes 3. No keyframes, everything done inside of Nodes. Feel free to pick up this preset as well as this project from www.bcraftmath.com/yenobox. And if you have any questions, leave a comment below. And that's it for this video. I hope it helped.